This is a reading from Angela's Ashes by Frank McCourt. That day, Grandma and Mam went out and found a furnished room on Windmill Street where Aunt Aggie had a flat with her husband, Paul Keating. Grandma paid the rent, 10 shillings for 2 weeks. She gave Mam money for food, loaned us a kettle, a pot, a frying pan, knives and spoons, jam jars to be used for mugs, a blanket and a pillow. She said that was all she could afford anymore, that Dad would have to get up off his arse, get a job, go on the dole, go for the charity at the St. Vincent de Paul Society, or go on the relief. The room had a fireplace where we could boil water for our tea, or an egg in case we ever came into money. We had a table and 3 chairs and a bed, which Mam said was the biggest she had ever seen. We were glad of the bed that night, worn out after nights on floors in Dublin and in Grandma's. It didn't matter that there were 6 of us in the bed. We were together, away from grandmothers and guards. Malachi could say, "Yee, yee, yee," and we could laugh as much as we liked. Dad and Mam lay at the head of the bed, Malachi and I at the bottom, the twins wherever they could find comfort. Malachi made us laugh again. "Yea, yea, yea," he said, and "Oi, oi, oi," and then fell asleep. Mam made that little hink, hink, snore sound that told us she was sleeping. In the moonlight I could look up the length of the bed and see Dad still awake, and when Oliver cried in his sleep, Dad reached out for him and held him. "Whoost," he said, "whoost." Then Eugene sat up, screaming, tearing at himself. "Ah, ah, Mummy, Mummy." Dad sat up. What's up, son?" Eugene went on crying, and when Dad leaped from the bed and turned on the gaslight, we saw the fleas. Leaping, jumping, fastened to our flesh. We slapped at them and slapped, but they hopped from body to body, hopping, biting. We tore at the bites till they bled. We jumped from the bed, the twins crying, Mam moaning, "Oh, Jesus, will we have no rest?" Dad poured water and salt into a jam jar and dabbed at our bites. The salt burned, but he said we'd feel better soon. Mam sat by the fireplace with the twins on her lap. Dad pulled on his trousers and dragged the mattress off the bed and out to the street. He filled the kettle and the pot with water, stood the mattress against the wall, pounded it with a shoe, told me to keep pouring water on the ground to drown the fleas dropping there. The Limerick moon was so bright I could see bits of it shimmering in the water, and I wanted to scoop up moon bits. But how could I with the fleas leaping on my legs? Dad kept pounding with the shoe, and I had to run back through the house to the backyard tap for more water in the kettle and the pot. Mam said, "Look at you. Your shoes are drenched, and you'll catch your death, and your father will surely get the pneumonia without a shoe to his foot." A man on a bicycle stopped and wanted to know why Dad was beating that mattress. "Mother o' God," he said, "I never heard such a cure for fleas. Do you know that if a man could jump like a flea, 1 lep would take him halfway to the moon? The thing to do is this: when you go back inside with that mattress, stick it on the bed upside down, and that will confuse the little buggers. They won't know where they are, and they'll be biting the mattress or each other, which is the best cure of all. After they bite the human being, they have the frenzy. you know, for there are other fleas around them that also bit the human being, and the smell of the blood is too much for them, and they go out of their minds. They're a right bloody torment, and I should know, for didn't I grow up in Limerick, down in the Irish town, and the fleas there were so plentiful and forward they'd sit on the toe of your boot and discuss Ireland's woeful history with you. It is said that there were no fleas in ancient Ireland, that they were brought in by the English to drive us out of our wits entirely, and I wouldn't put it past the English. And isn't it a very curious thing that St. Patrick drove the snakes out of Ireland and the English brought in the fleas? For centuries Ireland was a lovely, peaceful place. Snakes gone, not a flea to be found. You could stroll the 4 green fields of Ireland without fear of snakes and have a good night's sleep with no fleas to bother you. Them snakes were doing no harm. They wouldn't bother you unless you cornered them. And they lived off other creatures that move under bushes on such places, whereas the flea sucks the blood from you morning, noon, and night, for that's his nature, and he can't help himself. I hear for a fact that places that have snakes galore have no fleas. Arizona, for instance. You're forever hearing about the snakes of Arizona, but when did you ever hear of fleas in Arizona? Well, good luck to you. I have to be careful standing here, for if one of them gets on my clothes, I might as well invite his whole family home. They multiply faster than Hindus. Dodd said, "You wouldn't by any chance have a cigarette, would you?" "A cigarette? Oh, sure, of course. Here you are. Aren't I nearly destroyed from the fags myself? The old hacking cough, you know, so powerful it nearly knocks me off the bicycle. I can feel that cough, stirring in me solar plexus and working its way up through me entrails till the next thing it takes off the top o' me head." He struck a match on the box, lit a cigarette for himself, and held out the match for Dodd. "Of course," he said, "you're bound to have the cough when you live in Limerick, because this is the capital city of the weak chest, and the weak chest leads to the consumption. If all the people that had consumption in Limerick were to die, this would be a ghost town. Though I don't have the consumption myself. No, this cough was a present from the Germans." He paused, puffed on his cigarette, and struggled with a cough. "Be Jesus," excuse the language, "but the fags will get me in the end. Well, I'll leave you now to the mattress. And remember what I told you. Confuse the little buggers." He wobbled away on his bicycle, the cigarette dangling from his mouth, the cough racking his body. Dodd said, "Limerick men talk too much. Come on, we'll put this mattress back and see if there's any sleep in this night."